Are we starting? Oh my gosh.
We have already started.
Why do you
Come on in, baby.
do this to me?
What did I do to you?
I run it. I hear the music playing. I come in here thinking I got a second, get situated.
That's
and
so
you're
funny.
rolling.
That's so funny. I hear the music playing like I'm in here with my electric guitar going.
I still
Yeah, I'm
like
playing
that
the music.
song.
It's like, come on, baby. The intro's going. Hurry up.
It's like Pavlov's dog.
Yeah, I was getting us ready.
Yeah.
Getting us ready to roll. How
I
you
love
doing
it.
this
I
morning?
still like that song. And the kids, when we first picked it out almost a year ago,
Yeah.
remember when you found it?
Uh-huh.
They said it sounded like the Home Depot
Ooh.
jingle.
Yeah. Yep.
And I guess that's what we are. We are the Home Depot, if you
Well, I
think
started
about
off
it.
with that, some kind of road trip song by Johnny Cash, but it was copyrighted and it flagged us on our YouTube video.
Yeah.
And even, I mean, you get permission, you do all the stuff. Anyway, so it's not like this is my favorite song of all time.
I
but
like it.
yeah, I went and found one that you go through a bunch and there's the little site that you pay the little royalty fee and then give the credit for it. Which is in our liner notes of our podcast. So we're covered.
I like it.
Yeah, but I like it too. It's good. Jams.
Well, good morning.
So good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing good today.
How are you feeling?
I feel great. I feel like I woke up with a clear mind. It's going to be a full week,
Been
but
proud
I think
of you,
it'll
seeing
be great.
you be so consistent with your. It was interesting, your miracle morning you do to start your day, and that's such an important part. And if you did nothing else but the very first letter of Savers, Savers, the first letter S being silence. If you did nothing else, that would be worth its weight in gold.
Yeah. Love starting my day like that. And it's funny that you should bring that up this morning because I woke up with just some clarity about like boom, 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 some things that I need to do. And usually I can kind of put those to the side and I start with my miracle morning. But this morning, I kind of jumped right in and started. I kind of needed to Tetris some appointments in that people were, it was kind of a domino effect. And so I started in on that and I thought, man, I got to circle back because I haven't done my miracle morning. And it really does make a difference. It just kind of, I love it because even on a super busy day, especially on a super busy day, it helps to get my mind grounded and kind of centered around what's important. And so many times when I spend that time being silent, it just automatically kind of orders my day and helps me put some things into perspective. So it gives me a lot of clarity. So it's funny that you brought it up today because I have not done it yet.
Well, and what I was going to say
will.
is the consistency part. You've been doing it a lot. I mean, you always do it and you've done it for years. But what I've seen is like yesterday, you said you were going to do your miracle evening because you had done a part of it. And then I, with our vision meeting, with some other stuff that I interrupted, and you said, no, it's okay. And, but you weren't finished with, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing or journaling. And so you went back to it. You said, man, I need to finish that. You wanted to complete it. And it wasn't just, again, for you, a checkbox. It's something that's been, made such a difference.
Vital. Yeah. I think I got through SAVE yesterday. Silence, affirmations, visualization, and exercise. And then I didn't finish the last two, the reading and scribing. So last night I was like, give me a minute. I'm going outside to do my miracle evening.
Yeah.
Finish those last two.
I can see people if they're driving or if they're on the treadmill or whatever, they're thinking, wait, what was that again? Can you slow down? Say it again. And you can always back it up, pause it, and take your little notes. But yes, S, silence. And if you just do the little savers, then you should be able to commit this to memory. A, that's why you made it, with the little acronym. Is it an acronym or acrostic? I always get them mixed up.
Acronym. I think.
No, that's not it. It's there's another one too. Another word for it. Anyway, I can't think of it. So S, silence. A, affirmations. V, visualization, E, exercise, R, reading, and S, scribing or journaling. So yeah, if you
Good
do
job.
every one of those things for 5 minutes, you've just spent 30 minutes of your day. If you do every one for 10 minutes, that's an hour if you do the math. But what is cool is if you're finding yourself stuck in a book, you know that at least 10 minutes a day you're going to read. You will finish that book eventually. Doesn't mean it's your only reading for the day or your only exercise for the day, but it's just that little chunk that you're dedicating to it. And it's a great way to start the day. So,
and now I've kind of customized it to how much time I'm going to spend on each. So I'll do 10 minutes of silence, 3 minutes of affirmations, 3 minutes of visualizations, 10 minutes of exercise, 10 of reading, and 5 of scribing. I can't remember, something like that. So, it's not like a hard and fast rule about it. Do what you want, but take control of your morning.
What else is going on in the Jamie world?
Man, definitely fall has come back to life. The seasons are a-changing. So summer was kind of I wouldn't say a break, but I think for everyone, summer slows down quite a bit. And people are off on vacation, or their kids are at home, or it's just more of kind of a relaxed feeling during the summertime. And then, goodness gracious, the machine cranks back up come fall. And so we are really feeling that. It's kind of and interestingly enough, our newsletter that I was so far behind on, sorry, sweet Janie, who helps me put it all together.
She does a great job. Thank you, Janie.
She's amazing. Hey to Janie. But this month, I did it all on rhythms, the rhythms that we set for our life, and the rhythms that we set for our relationships and our marriages and our families.
What perfect timing to put that as the centerpiece for our newsletter, since we have a workshop coming up. Tell everybody about that. Remind them.
We do. October 15th. That's a Wednesday from 6 to 8 at Justin Coffee.
6 to 8 in the evening.
In the evening, not in the morning. Yeah. Don't show up at 6 a.m.
You never know.
No.
But yeah, that's why I said it. So Wednesday, 6 to 8, October the 15th. And there's still some room. We're going to be out on a patio at Justin Coffee. And
it's called
there's a little
Seasons of Us.
Seasons of Us.
So we're going to talk about the different seasons in our lives, and just like the seasons change around us every few months, that's what happens in our lives, and that's what happens in our relationships and our marriages. And so kind of how to see them as seasons, and how to get ready, like prepare for seasons that may be ahead in your relationship.
It's just a real less big presentation, a lot more kind of just chill discussion, dialogue between friends, and young couples, middle-aged couples, old couples.
Yeah.
I mean, we have couples of all ages, which I love. A young couple, very young couple, reached out yesterday and they said, "Is it $50 a person or a couple?" So, no, per couple, $50 per couple.
Yes,
so $25 a person. Man, at that rate, you can go do that and then, head around the corner to Margaritas for a little Mexican food after that. And Justin,
and Justin Coffee has the most beautiful little patio with a fireplace. I'm not sure that we're going to necessarily need the fireplace, but it might be on just to be beautiful. Yeah. But really cool space. And so we're moving from the inside to the outside. So we'll have a little bit more. Our other workshops there have sold out. So we'll have a little bit more space with being outside, and we would love for you to join us. So if you are anywhere where you could drive to Justin, Texas and come to Justin Coffee for Seasons of Us on October 15th, 6 p.m. We would love to see you.
You've done a good job with Carissa. our little planner and employee of Justin Coffee Co. And
Love
just supporter and lover of Long Haul Marriage. She's a jewel. She's a gem.
Yeah,
she's
love
a great
her.
friend. So some more insider talk. I feel like the podcast listeners are really on the inside. We have people who, have subscribed to our newsletter. They're insiders. They're long haulers. But I feel like our podcast listeners are really, really, they're you heard it here first, folks, kind of people.
I think because they just spending so much time with us, just on your treadmill or out on a walk or driving or whatever you do when you listen to our podcast. I feel like we just have this cool connection with them. They know our hearts.
Yeah.
They got the inside
And we appreciate
scoop.
you listening more than you know and sharing the podcast. And so and you have this little, I do this internal thing that happens. It's like, man, I've already said this, or have I said this? When you're discussing stuff with clients, when you're doing content posts for social media, or when you're online recording a podcast, you're having a conversation like, did I already say this? But it's worth saying a lot, some of these things, and just repeating, because not everyone is, consuming every bit of your content. And I even hate using this word content. It's, we're doing life and we're sharing our lives. Just yesterday, we shared a post about our vision meeting on Sunday, and we're just sharing part of our life. That was not a curated, as you well know, if you watch the thing, we didn't worry about the time of it and being over 3 minutes or being under 60 seconds. And we, at the very end, when I start talking about Better World, I didn't know our particular specific link in Better World. I just talked about the website. But I wanted to, so we're just sharing life, but I want to share some of the thoughts that we've had just as we begin today before we shift into the marriage topic that I think is going to be really interesting for people. Just that we are and I put this in the liner notes of the podcast, but we are a donor-sponsored 501c3. We are a donor-supported nonprofit ministry. And people say, well, what does that mean? So people sometimes like, nonprofits, I mean, you don't make money? That's a great question. No, it's just a tax classification, right? But we make money and we do charge for some of our services. Yeah. But, I could say all of our services, but we also put a disclaimer, and that's not even the right word, just a caveat that says, hey, if we never want the inability to pay to prohibit someone from getting marriage help. Yeah. A lot of couples are struggling, and they're struggling in the area of their finances. And maybe that's something that's universal. Most of us are struggling in this economy with our finances, but some people have financial means, and some have more than others, right? Some people, it's just not an issue, and they have ability to pay, and some people not as much. And while we could all say, well, it's just about what you put your money into. So, hey, do you have a Netflix account, or I bet you're getting that Starbucks coffee? Yes, there's always things you could cut out, and we do believe that if you make a financial investment in anything, you have more incentive, more stick in the game, more motivation to kind of stick with it and glean the value out of that particular thing. So we want people to have some stick in the game, so to speak. Having said all that, there are people that come to us and say, man, we need help, but we just cannot pay you right now. That's why we have donors who have said, we want to contribute to sponsor couples getting help. And so we have about 35% of our clientele that are totally donor sponsored. So 65% paying customers, 35% are saying, hey, I need help, and are getting scholarshiped by some of our generous donors. And so if you look at that, you may think, well, man, that's a horrible business model. And that's just what we've chosen to do, And so obviously, for years we had a ministry that was paid for by the tithes and donations of a local church, right? And then you're on staff and you get paid to do quote ministry, but people aren't paying for that, right? We are. I mean, you could say, well, yeah, they are, but they believe in the ministry of that place, of that church. They give, and then you're able to do what you do and devote your life to that. We have devoted our lives to this ministry, and we're going to do it regardless. We're just going to figure it out. And so I just want to say thank you to every single person who has donated to Long Haul Marriage. And I could get emotional talking about this. We don't talk about it a lot, especially like this, just kind of free flowing. We sometimes the Giving Tuesday video we just ran across, just by accident yesterday. Or near the end of the year, we talk about, doing some fundraising because of the tax write-off that people are looking for at the end of the year, giving to charitable donation, to nonprofits or charitable causes. Yeah. But I just want to say thank you. And there's a specific kind of person that I want to talk to. If you've ever given us a one-time donation gift of any size, and I mean any size, thank you. If you're one of our monthly donors of any size, thank you. And so there's this fallacy, and I just kind of wanted to address that really quickly, that, man, if I can't give more than whatever your amount in your head that you think is a significant amount, like if I can't give $100, if I can't give $250, if I can't write them a check for $5,000, then it's just not going to be enough, or it's not going to be significant. It's not going to count. And we're going to be, again, you heard it here first, folks, in October, we're going to be starting this kind of campaign to get the word out, to talk to people, and we're going to try to get 100 people that are not donating on a monthly basis to Long Haul to consider giving $50 a month. Because, again, you could do the math really quickly. If 100 people commit to $50 a month, that's $5,000 a month. And that would actually allow us to keep this ministry going into 2026 and beyond. And so just that amount. And some people thinks, well, isn't there some money bags out there that can write a $5,000 check every month? And the answer is maybe. But we don't have that person right now going forward in 2026. And so instead of one person giving a lot, and I was about to say, so we want 100 people to give not so much, but $50 a month, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. And so, Jamie, if you do the math and you go $50 a month, so there's 12 months. And so if I were to begin giving to Long Haul Marriage $50 a month, 12 months in a year, 12 times 50, how much is that?
$600.
$600. Okay. Divide that by, how many days are in a year?
365 days are in a year.
So divide $600 by $365. What is that?
$1.64.
$1.64 a day?
That? Yeah.
$1.64 a day. Do you go and have coffee every day and spend $1.64 on that coffee? So you get where I'm going, guys. So we are asking you to consider that, and $25 a month, $50 a month, $100 a month. Some people just think if they're not giving a certain amount of money, it's not going to be significant, or we're going to look at that and think, really, is that it? And so you kind of don't do anything. Nothing could be further from the truth. We are so appreciative because it's those quote seemingly little gifts that add up because of the strength in numbers. And so we are asking you to consider, we are looking for 100 people, 100 new people to start believing, and you already do if you're listening to this podcast, believing in us, believing in our ministry, and allowing us to come in here just like I did this last week 3 times and spend an hour in my evening online with a couple because they needed help and we didn't want to say no. So we really, really appreciate you considering that. And man, so where would you donate? you go to our website, www.longhaulmarriage.org, and you'll see the donate button. You'll see become a long hauler, and you can subscribe to our newsletter.
Yep.
But yeah, we just thank you for that. And I really felt led to just talk about that as we started today. So moving into something that I was thinking about. So I was on my walk, and over the last few days, I've been listening a lot to the Diary of a CEO podcast with Stephen Bartlett. And I don't pick podcasts, this, based on sometimes the host. I mean, a lot of people, I guess, would do that. But a lot of times I just pick the podcast based on the guest and the topic. So an example would be the Joe Rogan podcast. I don't particularly love Joe Rogan. I'm never been a fan of his before I started listening to his podcast. I certainly am not a fan of his stand-up comedy. I just don't think he's that good at it, honestly. No offense, Joe. But I love the variety of guests he has. And so I won't go all into that. But anyway, I've been listening to this Diary of the CEO, Stephen Bartlett. And back in 2024, he interviewed a guy named Brett Weinstein. And they get into talking about, lots of things. But one of the things was AI. And how, the concerns, this was back in 2024, and now obviously you can't swing a dead cat without hitting somebody talking about AI and the concerns about, AI getting out of control and it, making us extinct and, if nothing else, making our jobs extinct and, replacing us. And what happens when a massive amount of people are out of work and, and now we're talking about, Sam Altman's talking about UBI again. It's making this huge comeback, universal basic income. Anyway, so it's lots of discussions around AI. And I just, on one of the days after one of the podcasts, I started thinking about how people are using and how we use ChatGPT all the time and how it's starting to replace people seeking wisdom and advice from people that had been in their lives before, people that they trusted, people in institutions or people in positions of authority, and now the erosion of trust, the total lack of trust in institutions and people of authority. So we're losing some of our heroes, our mentors, the people, our professors, the people that before we looked to for information, for knowledge, for wisdom about anything. And we're replacing it with Google, right? And so I hear clients a lot that are Googling. You can find anything on social media and just go in the search bar and people are typing in the search bar and just going down these rabbit holes on things that they want to know about. And God bless you. You're trying, right? We're all trying our best. And now with ChatGPT, it's pretty incredible what ChatGPT can do. Way better than us, right? If you're writing something, you want to clean it up or just want to write it 10 times better, man, type it into ChatGPT and presto, voila, look at this. But one of the things that we know to be true is you have to know how to write a good prompt. And sometimes ChatGPT is just as good as the prompts that you know how to write. And some of us just aren't that creative or maybe aren't that smart or whatever. We just don't know what prompts to put in to get what we want out of ChatGPT. And so you got to be really, really careful. And so sometimes we say, oh, this could be self-serving or this could be a commercial for what we do. I'm going to state overtly right up front, this is a commercial for long haul marriage and what we do. This is a commercial for anyone in a relationship or in a marriage and you're struggling, you have any kind of issues at all, please do not resort to ChatGPT for your marriage help or your relationship help. Don't go seek out the gurus of social media on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. Yes, there's tons of content out there, and we're all appreciative of some things we've learned and some things that more than things we've learned, people that we've connected with. When someone puts a post and it resonates deeply within us, like, they're my person, they're my people, they're my tribe. We have this affinity for people who've gone through and are experiencing some of the same things. And so, but if we're not careful, if we feel that instant connection because they're talking to me, man, then we think everything they post is truth or has value. And maybe it does, but maybe it doesn't. And so just recently, I just kind of going off of that, I wanted to tell you, I was listening to this podcast, and again, I won't go into all the stuff that my brain did, but then I came in and I said, you know what, I'm just going to do a little experiment. And I just thought, I'm going to type into ChatGPT a little question. And you guys ready for this?
I think I'm ready for this.
The question that I posed to ChatGPT: why is my husband so angry? Okay. I just typed in, why is my husband so angry?
Okay.
And this was out of the blue. This was the first prompt. And I'm going to read it. It says, I'm really sorry you're dealing with that. It can be painful and confusing when someone you love seems angry a lot. Okay, so right there, what if your husband was just angry today? He's never been angry before. And you want to know, why is my husband so angry today? Anyway, so it assumes someone you love seems angry a lot. So anyway, but overlooking that, let's say he is angry a lot. There are many possible reasons why your husband might be acting this way. Yes, ChatGPT, you're right. And they can range from very personal to external stressors. Some common possibilities include, number one, stress and overwhelm. Work, finances, health, or family responsibilities can weigh heavily and show up as irritability or anger. Two, unmet needs or frustration. Sometimes people lash out when they feel unheard, disrespected, or stuck in situations they can't control. Yes. Three, communication difficulties. If he doesn't feel comfortable expressing emotions like sadness, fear, or disappointment, anger might be the default outlet. Yes, we talked about that covering emotion. So what's underneath? 4, mental health factors. Depression, anxiety, or past trauma can sometimes present as irritability or anger. Depression, anxiety, or past trauma. Okay, yes. Relationship dynamics. If there are unresolved conflicts, resentment, or feeling disconnected, anger can emerge more often. Okay, what matters most, that was the little list, the bullet points. And then what matters most is how often and how intensely he gets angry and how it affects you. Occasional frustration is normal. But if it's frequent, explosive, or directed at you in a harmful way, that's not something you should have to endure silently. A few things to consider. Okay, it goes on with a few things to consider on how you cope with that, how you can diffuse it, how you deal with it. But when you look at that list, can you just, thinking about the thousands of couples that we've seen over the last 3 decades, thinking about the almost 500 now that we've seen in the last year since we started long haul marriage, what is one of the number one things that you hear me talking about with the men that you did not hear on that list at all that can sometimes lead to their anger in their relationships? And I know I'm putting you on the spot.
You are putting me on the spot, but I want to say some kind of family of origin, maybe father wound.
Yeah.
Did I get it right?
Oh, well, you nailed it. I mean, 9 out of 10 men, John Eldridge in his book, Wild at Heart says 9 out of 10 men have a father wound. And I'll use that phrase a lot, and people, or that term, people say, what is that? You said father wound. What does that mean? And so that father wound, the wound that and men and women obviously can have father wounds, but it's the father who abandoned the family. The father who wasn't there, he was absent. The father who was there but was emotionally unavailable. He wasn't present because he was working a lot. He was a great provider, worked outside the home, but he wasn't home a lot, just in time, or he didn't check in, didn't plug in emotionally. He just went to work. It's the man who was the father who was an alcoholic. It's the father who was abusive. It's the father who was physically abusive or verbally abusive or sexually abusive. So there's all of these wounds that can happen as a result at the hands of a violent father or explosive father or a disengaged father or an absent father. And so those are just some examples, but that wounding then, I love his phrase. He says, the wound carries with it a message, and the message seems final and true because it's delivered with such force. Mm-hmm. And so we have this lie that we believe about us, this final and true message that we believe that's a lie. Mm-hmm. But we carry that with us our entire lives into adulthood. Mm-hmm. And if left unhealed, then that wound will be the thing that's under everything. Mm-hmm. And so this last week, when a man who had been angry, it's not about the circumstances that ChatGPT was talking about. Mm-hmm. And again, it said, didn't feel comfortable expressing emotions like sadness, fear, or disappointment. Mm-hmm. True, very true. I mean, this was really, really good stuff, but it just didn't get specific. And if you don't know how to continue that prompt and get deeper, you may never get there. When it said past trauma, yes, these things, when you have gotten into a fist fight with your father, that's traumatic. When your father left the family, that's traumatic. When you found out he was cheating on your mother, that's traumatic. When you were bullied by not your father, but when you were bullied. We heard this from a man this last week. Mm-hmm. He was bullied, and he's got emotional talking about it. Mm-hmm. He remembered the woman shutting the door in the backyard, shutting the fence, and he was locked out. He was not part of the birthday party invitation for his friends. And so, I'm a loser. I don't belong. And he was bullied by those kids. Mm-hmm. Felt totally alone, isolated, abandoned, rejected, orphaned. And so that's where it's when you say communication difficulties, unmet needs or frustration, stress and overwhelm, mental health factors, it's not just about right now. It's when's the first time you felt that? When is the first time that you felt that sadness, that fear, or that disappointment? Mm-hmm. And if we're not careful, we're typing into ChatGPT, why is my husband angry? Mm-hmm. And we're looking for something that's around right now, 2025, not looking back at when that now 35-year-old man was, 12. Mm-hmm.
So when you talk to ChatGPT, and believe me, chat works for me a lot. I should pay him. But I think there's something that we're missing with that, and that is the whole human interaction component. So I'm picturing me typing in, or some guy typing in what you just read to me from chat, which is some good stuff to maybe get you going or get you thinking. But I'm picturing if you're sitting down with that same person and they ask that question to you, and, you deliver some response or whatever. So, and then they respond to what you've just said. And then I'm thinking of the question you ask a lot is, so tell me about your father. Tell me about your mother. Tell me about growing up. It's interesting to see, just boom, right off the bat, what bubbles up. And so many times I hear you say, wow, out of all the things you could have said, that's the memory that popped up. And they're like, I don't even know why I just said that. Mm-hmm. I haven't thought about that in 13 years or 30 years. And you land on that and you say, no, I think that's important. Let's start there. Yeah. There's this human component. It's so nuanced. And I don't know that just a conversation back and forth with ChatGPT can get you there.
Right.
I think there is something so important about the human element and about the accountability of presence that it brings when the two of you or the four of us sit together and we have this really interesting, incredible conversation that opens up new places where maybe this person or these people, this couple, have not ventured into before. And they just need someone to sit with them as they have this discussion and bring up important questions or follow-up thoughts, or, hey, just a second, let's let him share, while sometimes we talk over each other when we're in the middle of a conflict. So I love that. I think there are just so many things that can happen when you're actually sitting down with real people who have walked in that space where you're walking now, been through that conflict, and can sit with you in that moment. And I mean, it's so much more than just an answer that you can spit out in 0.7 seconds.
If 10 of us walked in to a doctor, and I mean, you could check, first, if 10 of us typed in, hey, my right hip is hurting, what's wrong with me, right? 10 people type that into ChatGPT. You just think about the one answer all 10 would get, right? But if 10 people walked into a specialist and they sat down and the specialist asked about their activities, what they've been doing over the last few weeks, few months, what they've been eating, their level of activity, any acute injuries,
stress,
all the
just
things,
so many
right?
things,
and how many different reasons for that inflammation in the right hip or for the problem, oh, wow, you got hit by a car. Oh, you've been sitting in the same position for hours every day without moving. Oh, you've been walking, 10,000 steps for the last 20 years and your hip's getting kind of worn out. So you have to have that individual, specific, laser focused help. And that's what I think will never be replaced by AI. And some people will argue with that, and maybe it's coming. 5 years ago, if you would have, told your kids, hey, if you want to, have a lucrative career, go into programming, learn programming. As it turns out, that was horrible advice. AI can code now. Don't go into coding and programming because AI does it better than you, and you're not going to have a job. So, but we didn't know that. Brett Weinstein talks about this event horizon where we're coming to, and which is something you can't see beyond. So we don't. It's like we're floating in the middle, and so we don't know what land we're going to land on. We don't know what that looks like. So I can't tell you how to prepare for the land on which you're going to embark. If you ever do, if your raft makes land, right? But when you do, you're going to be looking around and assessing the situation then and say, okay, what do I need to do? So right now, you want to be able to look at someone, like you said, in the eye, person to person, and have a conversation so that you can get beyond this one size fit all and get into some personal care. And I think there's no, I was going to say excuse, that's not it. There's no replacement for the human interaction. And man, we love doing it.
Yeah, we do.
It's funny, this young couple that's scheduled, I'd been seeing him for a long time, and now the couples is scheduling. And I told him, it's not just, I love it that, she, can hear from Jamie, but also she can hear from a man's perspective, and he can hear from a woman's perspective, so it's the man to man, the woman to man, the woman to woman. It's just so great to have the four of us do it. Yeah.
I love it. I think I picture conversations that maybe you first start to have with a really good friend, that it is matters of the heart. It includes matters of the heart, things that are maybe something you're struggling with, something that you need to kind of work through. And maybe you started out on text and then you get to a point where you're like, why are we talking about this over text? Like there's so much that's missed when you just are texting back and forth. And I am a texter to the end, but there are some things that you need to move from text and into a phone conversation, a Zoom conversation, an in-person over coffee conversation. And so I think the same thing applies here. There are some things that are great to ask Chat about, but then, man, when it's a matter of the heart and you need to sit down with someone and talk about it. Yeah. We love that we get to be those people. So I love meeting with women. I know you love meeting with men, and then we love meeting with couples, and there's just nothing like it. I love that we get to do this.
Me too, babe. And so if you're wondering, some people say, well, what do? I've been to your website, longhaulmarriage.org, and you click on the services tab, but I look and I see the names of these things. So which one do you think would be right for my wife and I, or for me? Mm-hmm. So there's the Hitting the Road package, which is our premarital package, mm-hmm. and we can officiate weddings, we can host weddings in our backyard. Mm-hmm. There's the In the Shop, where it's like, okay, you're gonna pull in. It's gonna require more than just one meeting, so it's an in the shop package. There's the tune up for just these one-off hour-long sessions if you wanted just a tune up, and you can do several tune ups. You can do as many as you want, but sometimes the In the Shop will save you some money if you know and you schedule ahead of time. Then there's the overhaul, which is an intensive. So mm-hmm. we work with the couple for a day or 2 days, but you're knocking it all out in one fell swoop, where you don't have to worry about childcare and scheduling and rescheduling, mm-hmm. work conflicts. Mm-hmm. You just kind of block it out and make that a huge priority, which can mm-hmm. literally, you can get a lot of traction and make a lot of progress in those overhauls.
Yeah.
But beyond that, if you look at those and you're still confused and you think, hey, I would just love to run it by you, our situation or our mm-hmm. circumstances, and then they ask me, what do you think would be best for us? Mm-hmm. You can just reach out to us. You can schedule a 15-minute call, and we'll jump on a Zoom or a phone call, and we just kind of talk through it and tell you what we think would be best for you guys. Mm-hmm. So we look forward to hearing from you. longhaulmarriage.org or Brian at longhaulmarriage.org, Jamie at longhaulmarriage.org. Are our email addresses, and it's just our highest honor to sit with you in that sacred space of where the challenges are, the struggles are, and wanting to help you guys with all of your stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So, in the words of Sam Altman, say it.
What? I don't know the words. Who is Sam Altman? Get it done.
Bye, everybody.